Hi class, I'm Amanda Harris and I've chosen to do my book report presentation on a book called What Should Danny Do by Gannett and Adair Levy. This book is unique as it has 9 different endings based on what Danny chooses to do throughout the book. So because it's unique like that, at the beginning here we have just a table with different symbols we may come across. So you have green arrows, which just means turn to the next page. A question mark brings a question for us to answer. We have a yellow box here with an arrow, and that tells us what page we came from in case we wanted to go back. And then we have a stop sign that tells us that that is one of the ending options. So what should Danny do? At the beginning here, we learned that Danny is training to be a superhero. He is learning to fly, to run fast, to be strong, and still working on learning to fly. And at the beginning, Danny's dad reminds him that he has, and we all have, one of the greatest superpowers of all, which is the power to choose. So, as we read the book, we go through Danny's day and we come to different scenarios, and Danny is presented with choices. So that's whenever you get to these little question boxes, and it's going to ask you what Danny should do, and you or your kids or your class get to choose what Danny should do, and then you will go to that page. So in this scenario, Danny and his brother wake up for breakfast, and his little brother wakes up first. And he gets down to the table and chooses the Ninja plate. Well, Danny really likes the Ninja plate, but he gets to have the alphabet plate today, and he's not very happy about that because he already knows his alphabet. So it asks you, what should Danny do? Should he eat pancakes on the alphabet plate or yell until he gets the Ninja plate? So say we chose yell. That would take us to page 16. So we find page 16, and we see the consequences of Danny's choices. So because he yells, there is arguing, and they end up spilling breakfast. So not only does Danny not get the Ninja plate, he also spills breakfast, and he doesn't get to eat pancakes. He then gets to eat cereal. So he's very bummed about his choices. Then, excuse me, it brings us to another scenario where Danny and his brother are playing with the race car truck. Well, Danny wanted it first, but he didn't get to it because he had to clean up breakfast and then he had to eat his cereal. So it asks you again what Danny should do. And you get to answer this question and then go to the page. So you do that a few times, and then it'll bring you to an ending. So let's find an ending. Okay, so this is ending number 7. And in this, Danny's dad asks, could you have used your power to choose to improve your day? And he replies, I think maybe I would have gone to the park and done some other fun things if I made better choices. And it just reminds you that everyone has the power to choose. So that is just one ending to the different of the 9 that you can end up at. But I love this book because it really helps kids see, and it's a fun, interactive way for them to see that their choices matter. And by giving them an example of Danny's day and how, one thing he chose led to this, but another thing he chose led to that. And it also gives you the chance to explain to your kids that just because we had a hard moment, you can choose for Danny to yell at one point, but then to ask nicely the next time. So just because we have a hard moment doesn't mean that we have to continue our day making hard choices, right? We can take a deep breath, we can try again, and choose the next right thing in the next opportunity and turn our day around. So I have read this to my class. They loved it. And again, it's very interactive. It caught their attention. The illustrations are good and colorful and realistic. So they were engaged with those as well and able to kind of guess what was going to happen based on the pictures. And we also took time if we didn't like how that ending happened, you can go back using the yellow box that tells you which page it came from. So you can go back and choose a different option and then go to that page, and the ending could be totally different, which will help you, explain that just one different choice can help brighten our day or make it turn south. But it's a super fun book to share with any class. In this series, there's also What Should Danny Do in the Library and What Should Danny Do at School. I have not read those, but I really want to get them and read them to class. There's also one called What Should Darla Do? So it's about his cousin, and it's a white book, very colorful, pink, purple, yellow, blues on it. If you think your crowd would enjoy that one a little bit more. I would say the only downside to this is that you are flipping back and forth, and it takes a little longer to find your page than just flipping to the next page, but usually your audience is pretty engaged and they're not giving up on you while you're trying to find that page, because they're engaged and they want to know what happens as well. So, hope you all like this book, and thank you for your time.